Two Guys in a Crown are back in a big way this week. Three major prep races, which means three episodes for us. Here we'll focus on the Wood Memorial as we hit the mean streets of New York. And Shagaff is going to be your favorite there. You like him?
I'm not really sold on Shagaff. I mean, the group he beat in the Gotham Bram was questionable. He had an advantaged inside trip. But the question here is, how much better is the Wood Memorial? There are some fresh faces. Outwork was second best in the Tampa Bay Derby behind a solid stablemate of his from the Pletcher barn in Destin. He's well drawn to the outside with natural speed and should stay out of trouble. Matt King Cole, likely pace setter. Doubtful that Outwork is going to pressure him too hard. It should be a moderate tempo, and it could be a carousel all the way around the racetrack.
Yeah, I like Outwork here. I like the trainer. I like the jockey. It looks like he has a higher ceiling right now, and if that upside is met, then he probably wins. If it's not him, I'll go with Shagaff. And then if everyone is off, I think flexibility here is one to look at as a possible one to steal this one as well. Of all of them, no one feels like a Derby contender here, Joe. Am I right?
Yeah, well, whether it's Outwork, Shagaff, Matt King Cole, or somebody else, one of them's going to have to take a really big step forward in order for me to respect them in 4 weeks under the Twin Spires at Churchill Downs. That being said, I think Outwork does have some potential to potentially be that horse. We'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, well, Pletcher's going to have a bunch of horses down there at the Kentucky Derby. Outwork might be one of them, certainly will be if he wins the Wood Memorial. Of the group that is certain to go for Pletcher at this point, where does he rank among them?
Yeah, well, even though there's going to be 8 weeks between the Tampa Bay Derby and the Kentucky Derby, I have a lot of respect for Destin. He continues to move forward. He's got that right stalk and pound style for this year's Kentucky Derby, which should have quite a bit of forward-type horses in it. Outwork ran second that day behind Destin and a little bit more inexperienced, but I do think he has some upside, like I mentioned earlier. Zulu's the other one of the big three for Pletcher. He has a lot to prove, but he might just do that in the Bluegrass on Saturday.
And we'll have a preview of that as well this week. One of our three of our Triple Crown of prep races for the Kentucky Derby for Two Guys in a Crown. NBC Sports Network's got the television coverage of it. You can check it out Saturday, 5 to 7 Eastern Time. They will show you all three of the prep races: Wood Memorial, Santa Anita Derby, and the Bluegrass Stakes. For Joe, I'm Bram. Check us out 2 more times this week for Two Guys in a Crown.